The test squad for the India series was announced, and it was quite an interesting 15-man squad that they selected. We know that Rudy Second, Andrich Nokia, and Mutasami are three newcomers that have been selected in this test squad. You obviously know, Alasdair, that we have Hashim Amla has retired from all formats, and Dale Steyn has retired from Test cricket. There's also been another call-up for Dane Pitt, who was not really seen as someone that was in and around the Test squad for a long time after his Test debut, etc. And he played a few matches for the Proteas, but then he was kind of forgotten, and Keshav Maharaj actually took it over. We saw Tabraiz Shamsi as a spinner coming in. So Dane Pitt is back in that squad again. What I wanted to talk to you is about the structure of this 15-man squad. It's quite interesting, some of the selections. But firstly, let me get your thoughts on that.
Well, thanks for having me again. I just think that there's obviously two types of teams that we are going to be looking at for that test series. We spoke off air. I felt that maybe 5 bowlers and 6 batsmen, including de Kock as the wicketkeeper, would be the way to go, considering that Indians, their batting lineup is huge. And we actually need some real firepower in the bowling department. We just need maybe 1 or 2 guys to get a partnership when they bat. But if we go for an extra batsman, is it really going to make much of a difference?
Yeah, so we know about the dusty pitches in India. They're obviously going to prepare some dusty flat tracks, unless the ICC have put things in place for this Test Championship that you don't get that home advantage, that all the pitches must be prepared in a certain way. I think that's how it should be. But with regards to India, we know those turning wickets are going to cause a problem for South Africa. We've seen the SAA squad and some of the people that are going on the spin bowling camp. We know that Aiden has struggled with spin. He's on that spin bowling camp as well. So Hamza, I think, is going to be there as well because he's a young guy coming through. We didn't speak about Hamza coming into that system. So we got a very inexperienced young batting attack, which I'm a little bit worried about, and that's why I'm maybe thinking that we should go for that extra batsman. But then I don't see a space for an extra spinner, because I think playing in India you need to have 2 spinners. Selecting Mutasami because he's a good batsman. I mean, he has 7 first class centuries and I think 19 half centuries. I mean, he can bat. And he can bowl, but he's another left armer. So having Keshav and him in the same team could cause some problems. I think if you're going to play 2 spinners, you have to play Pitt and Keshav or Pitt and Mutasami. So there's going to be some interesting calls for the Proteas going forward.
Absolutely. I'm very happy to see Dane Pitt selected for the squad. I think that's a good choice. He did so well in the 4-day series, and he's led the Cobras with great enthusiasm. He's fought hard to bring the Cobras where they are. He's worked well with Ashwell Prince. He does turn the ball. He can bat too. He scored 111 last season, and I just think that he adds that senior head to the team, and it's a young team, and I think you need a couple of old heads. It's been 3 years since he last played. I think it was against Zimbabwe. I think he took 6 wickets, but he definitely needs to be selected. And my main argument as to why we need 5 bowlers is have Dane Pitt, have Maharaj, and then either kind of interchange or whatever, but I would prefer to have Rabada, Nokia and Vernon Philander, because Vernon can add a bit of beef in that tail. Rabada can bat. We've seen him do quite well. So we don't know too much about where Nokia is going to bat there in the Test series, obviously, because he's going to make his Test debut. So it's an interesting thing, but to have the 2 spinners is going to help huge amount. Maybe for the first Test, go for that and see, and maybe the selectors can decide, perhaps bring in the all-rounder to make that tail a bit longer, I suppose. Yeah.
You see, for me again, Ngidi is a must. Ngidi and Rabada are 2 fast bowlers. They should be the.
But is Ngidi fully fit though? That's the thing. If it's still. We don't know where these guys are at. They didn't we don't see any 4-day action now before the series, so we don't even know where these guys are at match fit wise. So I'm saying on my side, we'll go for that other option, see if Ngidi, he hasn't even been picked in the T20 squad. We don't know where he's at either. So there's that too to look at.
So do you think a guy like Vernon Philander would be a positive selection in India? He normally thrives on having that overhead conditions, swing conditions, green grass on the pitch. He's normally used to that type because of his pace. He could be picked out quite easily in India.
Absolutely, but he has experience of playing in India before, and he brings a wealth of experience. He will also probably adjust his line and length to see what's going on, what's on the pitch. And, if we bowl first, who knows? He might take a few wickets and have India, where we're expecting India to just go along quite nicely. They're at maybe 40 for 3 before lunch. Yeah. And who knows, we might be on. I mean, India are going to make damn sure that they have all the advantages to do well in the series in the context of the Test Championship.
So now another selection that I wanted to talk about is Rudy Second. I'm not denying that he deserves a spot in a Test lineup, or he deserved to have a chance before. I think it's come quite late now in his career. He's proven that he's a good, amazing batsman, a good wicketkeeper in domestic level. But I think, how much does a guy at his age benefit from a selection at this point in his career compared to the young up-and-coming keepers that we have in the country, as like Calvarane and Senitembe Qashile, and obviously we also have Ryan Rickleton down there as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, why put a guy that's not going to play, because Quinlan is obviously going to be our main keeper, that is not going to play any cricket, most likely not going to play any games. What does he benefit from a situation like this?
Well, with all due respect to Rudy Second, what does a reserve wicketkeeper do in tour anywhere, apart from carrying the drinks? I would be very worried if de Kock gets injured and Second plays. No disrespect to Second, but yeah, he had a good 4-day season. But how much of that form has hung on now in the past, in the off season? I would have personally gone for Carl Verena. I think he's fantastic. He's young. He's willing to learn. It would have been good him going on tour with Dane Pitt there. There's a few, there's something to look at those kind of things, the combinations and actually how the squad gels. So, it's interesting things. But as I say, reserve wicket keepers don't do much on tour.